Hello, this video is about addressing what is probably the number one form issue for squats, and that is losing the tightness in the lower back. Coming up is a grossly simplified mechanical diagram of the squat. On the left hand side you'll see the guy has a straight back, and you'll see I've drawn 3 pivot points. That is the ankle, the knee and the glute. Each one of these joints has a large muscle designed for movement. On the right hand side you'll see the guy's got a rounded back, which creates a 4th pivot point. The lower back is designed for articulation. It's not really designed for forceful extension or flexion. Therefore, when you put it under heavy duress or load, like a heavy barbell, it becomes a weak point. This is where the vast majority, if not 99% of people will lose a heavy lift, because they lose their back form. This is me. 2 examples. Example 1, where I keep a good back position through the whole lift. You'll notice where I have the belt. This is typically where I'll lose my back position when I lift heavy. You'll see the whole lift's fast and easy, no real issues. That is mainly because I'm keeping my trunk straight, and that allows me to use my glutes, hamstrings, quadriceps to act on my back to push the bar up, and my back's not crumpling under the weight. This is example B, and this is where I lose my back position. So first one's without the belt. Don't really lose it there, but you can see I lose it a little bit. You'll see it more on this rep coming up out of the hole, and then just there, just lose it. And it's very slight. There's still some maximal weight, so I'm not missing it. But you can see it's kind of where the movement slows down quite a lot is when I kind of lose that back position. And you can see the belt again is placed where I normally lose my back position, up through the lift. Don't lose it there. Very easy lift. Second rep, don't lose it. Easy lift. You can see 235, although 15 kilos heavier, looked easier than 220, because I lost my shape on 220. So now we've kind of discussed what we're talking about. Let's look at 3 tools we can use to help you to keep your back position through the whole squat movement. Number 1 is rolling and stretching. The main reason most people, or one of the most common reasons why most people lose their back position during the squat, is because they either got tight hamstrings, which causes their pelvis to tuck when they get past parallel. They've got tight hip flexors, which it doesn't allow them to use their glutes properly to extend, so they end up crumpling and end up losing the lower back. They've got stiff adductors, which causes their knees to shoot in. That causes the ass to stick back, puts a large movement arm on the back, which inevitably ends up in a rounded back posture, and you're using your spinal erectors as extensor muscles, which isn't ideal. So rolling and stretching the hips mainly. Key places you want to look at: stretching, hamstrings, glutes, adductors, hip flexors. Those are the big 4. If you don't have a pair of weightlifting shoes, then stretching the ankles and having mobile ankles is essential for correct squatting mechanics. For rolling, the big one for me is the piriformis, or the top of the glute. That helps me a crap ton, but I have stiff hip flexors. Rolling everywhere is pretty good, but the place that I find really frees people up, and especially frees me up, is that psoas, that top of the glute. Number 2, box squats. You can use this to become more aware of the movement. It's a lot easier to kind of sit down on top of a high box, feel your lower back position, then stand up, than it is to go through a free squat. It lowers the degrees of freedom. There's only so many ways you can sit down to a box and stand up again, where there's quite a lot of ways you can perform a free squat. So by narrowing the degrees of freedom, you reduce the skill demand and make it easier for the lifter to kind of twig on as to how to hold their back in extension through the whole lift. And then finally, probably the best one, I reckon, is paused or tempo squats. For a pause squat, take the bar down real slow into the squat. Feel that tight back the whole way down. Hold on to that sensation. The key position is really in the middle back, where your lower traps kind of insert and your lats feeling like a local tightness there. If you hold that tightness, then it's really hard to lose your lower back position. Bring that into a full squat, pause for anywhere from 2 to 20 seconds, and stand up explosively. Once you take away the kind of the stretch reflex at the bottom, you'll appreciate how important it is to hold the lower back in extension through the movement, and how much stronger you are when you do that task properly. Tempo squats, that basically means you go down at a certain pace and come up at a certain pace. So maybe it's 3 seconds down, explosive up, so on the way down count 1, 2, 3. Very much the same way as in the pause squat, the emphasis is to feel the movement and really hold extension through that back so you don't round over. Or you could go through the whole movement, 5 seconds down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just makes you more aware of the movements you come through during the squat. Makes you acutely aware of the line of travel of the bar. When you go fast and kind of just like unleash everything, it becomes pretty easy to let strong muscles or strong movements take control. Whereas if you dictate the pace and dictate position using like a slower tempo or a box, it just kind of forces you into different positions. And quite often, especially in pause squats, it will force you into the most mechanically advantageous position for your build. So those are two variations in conjunction with stretching and rolling that will help your squat out quite a lot. That concludes this video. Any questions or comments, as usual, leave them below. Send an email to strengthspeedperformance@gmail.com. Visit the website, castironstrength.com. Get yourself on the forums, like and subscribe. This has been Mark, signing off.